Tonight, a Met officer speaks out. After 20 years service, Wayne Blackwood says he's been mistreated by the force in retaliation for whistleblowing.
This was a witch hunt for someone or towards someone who stands up and speaks. The evidence is tainted, the evidence is flawed. It's no way a criminal investigation.
Also on the programme, breaking news as police search for an 11-year-old girl missing in the River Thames. Plus, the parents arrested after complaining about their child's school. And
we're here in Leicester Square for the premiere of Rami Malek's new film, The Amateur, a spy thriller set in London, and soon the stars will be gracing the white carpet.
Good evening. A detective inspector with the Metropolitan Police who was arrested in January has told ITV News London he's been unfairly treated by the force after whistleblowing. Wayne Blackwood has been with the Met for more than 20 years. His home was searched after alleged breaches of data protection and computer misuse. He says that was a fishing expedition to discredit him after he spoke up about racism within the force. Anton Allen reports.
For years, Wayne Blackwood wore his Metropolitan Police uniform with pride, even standing side by side with former and current commissioners.
Back in 2022, I spoke to the commissioner and I said to him, it's time for change, action, not words. That change hasn't come.
Despite being one of the few black detective inspectors in the Met, Mr. Blackwood has waived his anonymity to reveal himself as a whistleblower that I interviewed in 2023 before the Baroness Casey review into sexism and racism within the Met.
Our children are being strip searched without adults with them. It's not nice to hear it occurs.
January this year, Mr. Blackwood was arrested at his home for suspicion of computer misuse and data protection breaches, and his properties were searched. Met Police told ITV News they cannot comment on ongoing investigations, whereas Mr. Blackwood believes being a whistleblower and his ongoing disability tribunal have motivated the Met to arrest him. He says for sending work information to his personal email accounts, which is a breach of Metropolitan Police protocol.
The Met and maybe even viewers will think, well, you're an officer, you know the law, it's their job to make sure no one's above it, so they should have came to your address.
This was a witch hunt for someone or towards someone who stands up and speaks. The evidence is tainted, the evidence is flawed. It's no way a criminal investigation.
Why do you believe that?
The Met's IT system is broken. A lot of officers, the majority of officers, I'm not saying all the officers, do use their own IT to make the job work.
Mr. Blackwood believes he is an example of Baroness Casey's findings. The 2023 review found that black officers and staff were 81% more likely than their white counterparts to have internal misconduct allegations brought against them.
Senior white officers out there now, I'm not going to name any names, who are shielded, protected and quietly retired to ensure that the Met are not exposed or embarrassed in any way by such conduct. But when it comes to black officers, there's a term I use called that low-hanging fruit. Because there's not many black officers in senior positions, they're the ones who are demeaned and confounded and just erased.
The Metropolitan Police told ITV News they are committed to being an anti-discriminatory organisation and we conduct misconduct investigations on that basis, in line with national police regulations. Mr. Blackwood spent 21 years working for the Met. This week an internal hearing will decide his future. He says regardless of the result, he's taking his whistleblower stories to Parliament.
Anton, what kind of support is DI Blackwood getting through this?
Well, Mr. Blackwood has not been charged with a crime, but has been given unconditional bail. He says he's innocent. He's been supported by the National Black Police Association, who say, "We are also appalled by the decision to execute a search warrant at Wayne's home, an action that was neither proportionate nor justified. This heavy-handed approach came only after he had raised complaints about racial and disability discrimination, making it difficult to see this as anything other than an attempt to intimidate and discredit him." Now, the Met Police will obviously say that's not the case and that all officers should be held to account.
Antoine, thank you. Next tonight, the parents of a 9-year-old girl in Hertfordshire say their home was raided by police and they were arrested because of text messages criticising their daughter's school. Maxie Allen and Rosalind Levine had made a number of complaints about leadership at the school, both in emails and on a private parents' WhatsApp group. After being locked up for 11 hours, they were released without charge. Today, a local councillor told us it's an attack on democracy. Here's Cafe Patter.
6 police officers at a Hertfordshire house. You'd think they were here for some hardened criminals, but no. Just 2 parents who'd complained about their daughter's school.
Honestly, my first thought was that my daughter was dead and that they'd come to tell me. I couldn't think of any other reason why there would be 6 officers at my door. I didn't connect it at all to the school.
Last year, Rosalind and Maxine Allen complained about the recruitment process for the head teacher of their daughter's school. They also voiced their concerns on social media and private WhatsApp groups. Cowley Hill Primary School reported these comments to the police. And in January this year, the parents were arrested in front of their 3-year-old daughter, accused of harassment and malicious communication.
And when we were finally interviewed by the detective, who had no previous knowledge of the case, he presented us with no evidence. He had no examples of any communications. He had no examples or facts about things we were meant to have done. And I think he was as much in the dark as we were, or the original officers were.
Hertfordshire Constabulary say the arrests were necessary in order to fully investigate these allegations. However, after holding Maxine Allen and his partner Rosalind Levine at a police station for 11 hours and a 5-week investigation, the case was closed, with no further action taken. Caught up in this saga was local councillor Michelle Vince. Rosalind and Maxine reached out to her for help, but she was told she'd be treated as a suspect if she continued speaking to the parents.
The police officer informed me that I had to cease communication with the school and cease communication with the family. I explained to the officer it was their democratic right to reach out to their local elected councillor, and this was taken away, their democratic right.
While the case against Rosalind and Maxine has now been closed, what's happened to them will stay forever. Kath Opata, ITV News.
A woman has been arrested after police found the body of a newborn baby in Notting Hill last week. The boy was found inside a shopping bag outside All Saints Church last Tuesday. On Saturday, a woman in her 30s was arrested on suspicion of concealing a birth, neglect and infanticide before being taken to hospital. And more survivors of alleged sexual abuse by Mohammed Al-Fayed have written to his estate to start legal claims. The allegations come from 5 women who worked as nannies and private air stewards for the former Harrods owner between 1995 and 2012. Over 400 alleged victims or witnesses have already come forward. A huge search is underway after reports of a child falling into the Thames near London City Airport. Fred Dimbleby is here with me now. Fred, what more do we know about this?
Well, look, it's a developing situation. The details are pretty limited at the moment. What we do know is that the police were called earlier this afternoon to an area near the Woolwich Ferry at around 1:15 p.m. To those reports, an 11-year-old had entered the Thames. The police have said in a statement that a large-scale response is ongoing, supported by all emergency services, working together to conduct an extensive search in efforts to locate her. Her next of kin have been made aware and are being supported by officers. But I think, as you saw in those pictures, this is a significant search involving the Coast Guard, the London Fire Brigade, the ambulance, the RNLI. We've been told this evening that the fire brigade and the ambulance have stopped their part in this, but it's been described as a systematic search of the area involving drones, helicopters, as well as boats. Authorities clearly taking this situation very seriously, and a great deal of worry among all involved for the welfare of this 11-year-old girl.
Yeah, Fred, thank you for bringing us up to date. We'll have more on that on our late bulletin tonight. Thank you. The hit Netflix show Adolescence, which delves into the dangerous ideas targeting young men online, will be made available to schools for free. The show involves a teenage boy accused of murdering a female classmate after being drawn into the woman-hating so-called manosphere, where toxic masculinity is pushed on young, isolated men. A group of boys from Richard Challoner School in New Malden says it is an important reflection of modern life.
Quite interesting to see the stuff that we see in our day-to-day lives in a TV show like that. You know, it's sort of dramatised and everything.
It reveals about what they're thinking and how their attitudes to women and girls, often that they are very close to, how it's changed from one of just, oh yeah, they're my friend, to they are my enemy.
A lot of our perspective in real life is determined by what we see in our phones, because it's very easy to see something on your phone and think that is correct.
Pupils in New Malden there. Still to come on the programme. We'll be live on the red carpet for the premiere of the new action film, The Amateur. But first, with a week to go until the new Silvertown Tunnel opens in London's East End, there's no sign of the argument on who should be able to use it going away. TfL says it will revolutionise commuting by leading traffic away from the regularly congested Blackwall Tunnel. But campaigners say it will only bring the toxic fumes from that traffic to residents. Anna Geary has more.
Final tests are underway ahead of the opening of London's newest river crossing. The Silvertown Tunnel stretches from Newham in East London to the Greenwich Peninsula. This £2 billion tunnel is due to open in a week's time. Transport for London hope it will act as an overflow for the often gridlocked Blackwall Tunnel. But from next Monday, neither route will be free to use. Prices will vary depending on the time of day and direction of travel. During the rush hour, peak charges will be £4 for cars and small vans, £2.50 for motorbikes and mopeds. For large vans, it's £6.50 and £10 for heavy goods vehicles.
We cover the cost of the tunnel through the charges. Of course, we put charges on the Blackwall Tunnel and the Silvertown Tunnel to make sure that we control the congestion that comes into both tunnels. So we don't expect a lot more traffic to come across both tunnels.
There are discounts for low-income Londoners in boroughs near the tunnels, and for some small businesses and local charities. The reports suggest online applications from those eligible has been low. Climate campaigners also remain concerned about the environmental impact and say air quality will worsen.
This is a ticking time bomb for people's health, and the policy makers have failed. We're in the 21st century. This should never have been built, and had it been proposed now, it would never have been approved.
I would like to see, in 2025, a cycle crossing and just not have fossil fuel vehicles using any new infrastructure.
During the first year, buses using both tunnels will be free, with a bus shuttle for cyclists too. Greener measures, but with 7 days until opening. Environmental activists continue calls to repurpose the tunnel and prioritise public transport, pedestrians and pedal power. Anna Geary, ITV News.
Next tonight, the plot and setting is familiar, the repercussions less so. Hollywood's latest offering features a terror attack on London. The Amateur, starring Rami Malek, sees his CIA agent character go rogue when his wife is caught up in the devastation.
What you do is very important to what we do. Let us handle this.
I want mission-specific training, cash, and a new identity.
You're just a nerdy fellow that works on computers.
We got a ping in Rome.
He's in London.
He just got on a bus in Prague.
He practically invented half of our surveillance. Maybe y'all misjudge this individual.
Helen Keenan is in Leicester Square for us. Hello, Helen.
Hi, now look, you probably know him from films like Bohemian Rhapsody and No Time to Die, that James Bond film where he was playing the villain, but this time around in The Amateur he's playing the hero. Now that's the unexpected hero, to be honest. That's the idea of this. Now we were hoping Rami Malek might be able to join us by here. He is running a little bit late, but this is about a terror attack that takes place in London. It sets off a chain of events and you'll be able to watch it in cinemas next month.
Helen in Leicester Square, thank you very much. Oh, DEC, you wait for these stars to come along and they don't turn up. Never mind. You can see many more, though. We have them all here on ITV News London every weekday at 6 p.m. with the biggest stories and some more famous faces. Here's a reminder of why you won't want to miss it.
In 3, 2, 1. Action. London, right,
Yes.
Ryan. Apparently you were born in London.
Yep, Ontario.
Yeah, you see why we did that?
We are the perfect family.
Unbelievably grateful to have the opportunities. I mean, particularly at this age, you go, oh my God, is this possible to still be, and to be in a position where I'm in control of my destiny in a way.
She was an extraordinary life force and a woman. She was a middle-aged, flawed, messy woman who was so determined to get there and to document the truth for the female readers of British Vogue.
My mum sent me away.
She did it to keep you safe.
There was a bomb not so near the bridge here, a large explosion, and around this particular area. I mean, again, that's why I wanted to show this picture here. That's why I wanted to premiere this picture here, because I love the idea of, you know, being in a place where things actually happen.
No one dances like Bob. You can't copy him and you can't imitate him. He's too spontaneous. He never does the same thing twice, and he never did a half-hearted concert. He always was singing for his life.
This is how you leave a man. I'm really proud of being from Hackney. I think it's had a massive impact on me culturally. Growing up in Hackney, I saw an example that my ideologies can be real.
I always wanted to be able to tell every single beat of this story as it is in our film.
Minaj, big bumper, nice headlights. Let's boogie.
I'm just a huge fan of action cinema, so I wanted to create something that was not only had soul and it had, you know, kind of weight to it, but it had the most insane action and it had a bit of culture as well.
Hi, Peanut. The movie really genuinely turned out even better than I would ever have in my wildest dreams anticipated or hoped. It's emotional, it's beautiful.
At last, London's fashionable set has made its return.
You've got fans just over there who've come from France and Italy to London. Does it blow your mind?
It really does. There's been people that have been on nearly every stop on the tour that we've been. I've met fans that have come to every location we've been at all over the world.
This is a lot. It's an extraordinary evening. I'm so proud to be here. We're live on ITV.
Just bear with us while we'll come back in 1 second.
And Sally's here with me now. Sally, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been looking into some more of London's hidden secrets with our new series, My Hidden Bit of London. And we've gone east down the Thames to Wapping. But listen to the name of the place where we've been. Execution Dock. Not my usual thing, but taking us there is the mudlarker and the author Lara Maitland. So here is Lara's My Hidden Bit of London.
Drift along to this corner of London and you'll find some grisly tales involving pirates and pints.
Cheers.
Our tour guide today is the mudlarker, author and Thames lover Lara Maitland.
My hidden bit of London is the foreshore at Wapping, specifically a place with a dark and gruesome history. I'm standing on Execution Dock. It's where people accused of piracy and treason on the high seas were brought to be hanged.
But our story actually starts away from the foreshore and on the road.
So why are we here, Lara?
Well, this is Wapping High Street, and this was the very last part of their journey for the condemned men. They were put in an open cart, brought through the streets of London, flanked by the hangman and the chaplain, with people throwing rubbish and goodness knows what at them as they went past, until they reached here, the final part of their journey.
This isn't going to be my usual cheerful piece, is it, Lara?
Not at all, Sally. No, I'm sorry. It's a pretty miserable tale.
Round the corner, a nearby pub would have been the prisoners' last port of call.
So the Turk's Head was where people came for their last pint. Not this one very close by, but this is almost where they were, is it?
Almost where they were. The condemned were afforded one last drink, or sometimes several, anything to dull the horror of what was going to happen next.
Sneak down one of these alleys and you can see the foreshore where they then finally headed.
So this is where it all happened, where it all went horribly wrong, is that right?
That's right. Hundreds of people lost their lives here, hanged on the foreshore, the most famous of all being Captain Kidd, who was hanged for piracy in 1701.
In fact, Lara has found a coin on this beach from the Caribbean from Captain Kidd's era in the 1600s. But for most of us, it's a noose, not a coin, that'll catch our eye.
So when people were here, were they surrounded by an audience? Would people have come and watched?
Absolutely, it was great fun. People would come for a day out, they'd bring their children, they'd be floating in boats just off the foreshore.
Really?
And others would be watching from taverns, including the notorious Judge Jeffreys.
So what would have happened here, Lara?
Well, this is the Prospect of Whitby, but back then it was called the Devil's Tavern because it's where the evil Judge Jeffreys, the hanging judge, would come chowing down on a nice juicy lamb chop, drinking his port and watching these poor souls hang.
I don't feel like I can say cheers to that.
I don't know, I think I can, I'm thirsty.
OK then, cheers.
Cheers.
Thankfully today this place is about pints, not pirates, but the stories live on.
Lara, if you had to sum your hidden bit of London up in one word, what would it be?
Can I use a phrase?
Go on then.
It's filled with ghosts.
So we had a sunny day for that, even though the story wasn't that sunny. And we've got more to come this week. We've just got a whole row of sunshines in the
I haven't seen that
outlet.
in a long time.
I know, I bought it for you. Here we go, enjoy.
ITV London weekday weather is sponsored by Octopus, the renewable energy company.
Hello again. I hope you had a lovely start to the week. It looks like these little ones did so cute. They'll plop in the water. Nice way to start the day. Don't mind if I do. And these two as well. I'm showing this photo because you can see that they started off with frost this morning and then those temperatures climb themselves up nicely into those mid to high teens. We've got a big range of temperatures at the moment. You can tell from here, warm days, chilly nights and sunny days as well as we go through the week. It is feeling lovely and mild, but cooler in that easterly breeze. So let's take a look at all the detail for you. Starting off with this evening, your sunset now at 7:30. Thank you very much. And a beautiful way to end the day. Overnight, we might get a little bit of mist and fog forming on some higher ground and still can't rule out a few pockets of frost here or there. It is getting quite cold overnight, so we'll get off to a fresh note tomorrow morning, but any murkiness should disappear pretty quickly. We've got another cracking day of blue sky and sunshine for you. One change tomorrow is that breeze picks up a little bit more, so particularly if you're in the east, you can see those temperatures are just that bit cooler, highs of 12 compared to inland and in sheltered spots where once again we could get up to highs of 16 or 17. And we have now got moderate UV, so watch out for that if you're out in the sunshine. Another fabulous end to the day tomorrow. It's dry and clear and mild initially. Again, the temperatures will fall, but probably not frosty as we head on into Wednesday. We've got that temperature difference again between the east and west on Wednesday. Thursday, probably the warmest day of the week, popping up into the 20s possibly. And then Friday, starting off cloudy, but look at that. Golden medallions of sunshine. Hurrah. Cheerio.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
That's more like it. Thank you very much, Sally. Stay with us. Mary is here next with the evening news. From all of us here in London, bye-bye.